Good morning folks, Stuart Disney, Mendip Golf Club. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about, I'll give you some tips on ball placement and how you position your golf, the ball between your stance when you're playing iron shots. So ball placement is quite a crucial department of your address position, because number one, it affects the angle of attack that the club head comes down to the golf ball, affects the low point of the golf swing, and it also affects the path upon which the club is going. So a number of important factors. Bearing in mind, folks, we must never lose sight of our impact and what are we trying to achieve when the club head makes contact with the ball. It's the following three things. Number one, the club face must perfectly look towards our intended target. Number two, it must be travelling towards our intended target. And number three, it must be a centred strike, centre of the ball, hitting the centre of the club face. So we want to promote all of that. So how do we achieve ball placement? Well, there's two known theories on ball placement. One is very consistent, the other one requires you to make multiple adjustments. So let's talk about the multiple adjustment one first of all. Okay, this was pioneered by Ben Hogan in the late 40s, early 50s. And essentially what he was proposing was, as the number of the golf club got higher, the golf ball moved further back in the stance. Okay, now this creates two problems. Number one, difficult to transfer body weight, and number two, the direction upon which the club is travelling. If I have the golf ball too far back in my stance, the club head tends to swing to the right hand side. So what Mr. Hogan did was, in his address position, playing the ball further back with shorter clubs, he aimed his body to the left hand side to compensate for the natural curvature of the club itself. So yes, that works and there's no problems with it, but it's very, very inconsistent. Okay, you've got to be quite skilled to accept that one. The more modern approach, and one that is pioneered by virtually all of the world's leading instructors nowadays, is a static ball placement. So regardless of the number of the club on the sole of the club itself, you have the golf ball positioned in exactly the same place. The variant is possibly the right foot. Okay, but what I want you to think about when you're building a ball placement is place the club behind the ball. Okay, build your grip. Have your feet together in line with the centre of the golf ball. Then you're going to move your left foot the width of your foot to the left, and your right foot shoulder width apart. And this is for standard golf shots. Okay, I can't emphasise standard enough, because when I explain this to people, I tend to go off on tangents and get more specialist, but standard golf shots. So you can see the golf ball here, it's to the left of my centre point. That encourages me to transfer body weight. It also encourages the club head itself to be swinging along my intended target line through the hitting area. It encourages me to have a balance at my address position. I don't have to shift my weight left or right in any way, shape or form. So building that address position for a standard shot is quite crucial. Okay, so when we come to make a golf swing from here, we know that the bottom of the golf swing is going to be at the bottom of the golf ball if I'm transferring body weight nicely. Now, if I'm playing a smaller shot, like a pitching wedge, the relationship to my left heel with the golf ball stays the same, but I won't be quite as far apart with my right foot. It gives the appearance, of course, that the ball's moving back in the stance, but its relationship to the left heel is the same. Okay, bear in mind, there's the wide stance for the standard shot. I'm playing a soft sort of little pitching wedge shot. This stays the same, this one comes in just a little bit. Okay, but it's important that we try to keep that same relationship with it. Also bearing in mind, when I'm playing softer shots, okay, I'm not moving and transferring my weight quite as much. Okay, so we can get away with it in that fashion. But keeping that ball placement in that position, folks, helps, number one, the angle of attack to the golf ball, number two, the path of the club head, and helps eliminate some of those ones where you strike behind the ball or we end up hitting the top edge of it. If we have the golf ball too far forward, so with iron shots towards our left heel, the club itself wants to bottom out here. So what we're going to hit, ground first, no energy or ball flight at all. If we have the ball too far back in our stance and we transfer body weight, the club itself doesn't bottom out at all, might go over the top of it. So the only way we can get the club to hit the ball, connect with it properly, is to have body weight falling backwards. Again, a very common error that I see. So in a nutshell, folks, feet together in line with the centre of the ball, club behind it, build your grip, left foot the width of a foot to the left, right foot shoulder width apart, make your golf swing. back and forwards, and away we go. Nice perfect strokes every time. Folks, 29th of March, return to golf. See you soon.